I'm Deirdre with Second Wind Vintage, and today I'm going to show you a couple quick, easy ways to be able to tell whether you have a solid wood piece of furniture or whether you have a veneer piece of furniture. I know you're probably thinking, well, I'm going to paint it. And why does it matter? Well, it matters because when you're doing your prep work, if you have a veneer piece, you have to be super, super careful. And it's always nice to know if you won the lottery and you don't have to be as crazy about some of your scuff sanding and other things, and you caught a break. So I'll start off by saying, a lot of times people say, you know, it's heavy, it's solid wood. And that's not always true, because high quality composites, MDF and pressboard can be really heavy, depending on what they're made up of. And also, a lot of times, before veneer was like the cheap out thing to do, they would actually use solid hardwoods like oak or mahogany or walnut that the veneer would be on the outside. On the inside, it would just be pieces that maybe had things that they thought were not pretty, like giant knot holes, if there was a chunk out of it and they had to fill it, or if they had like the little bug holes. No one's home anymore. It was from when the tree was alive, 100 years ago. But they'll use that underneath, and then they'll veneer over the top of that. So you pick it up and you go, Jesus, I want to die. This thing has to be solid wood. That's because it's oak throughout, but there is veneer, in fact, on top of it. So I'm going to show you a couple quick little things to look at to determine whether you won the lottery and have solid wood, or if you need to tread a little careful and have veneer. So the first thing we're going to look at is the lip of the drawer. Okay, so a lot of times if a piece of furniture is veneered somewhere, it's on the drawer fronts because they wanted to put the super fancy wood there and they didn't want to charge an arm and a leg. So if you open your drawer and you look at the top lip right here, if it's an older piece of veneered furniture, there's an obvious seam, and you can see it. There's this type of wood, and then it's usually darker from age, a line. So that way you know. On newer pieces, however, when the veneer is literally like paper thin, it's much harder to see, and you have to look at the grain and see if it matches up and goes together. And if this type of grain, like the species match, which, I mean, if you don't know what things, you can tell what looks like something else. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is obviously mahogany, whatever. No, you don't need to know that. You just need to know this looks like this, and the lines make sense and go together. All right, and the second easy way to tell is you compare the inside of a piece to the outside. And it's the same concept as looking at that drawer edge. We just want to see if our grain patterns match up. In this case though, if species is the same, that doesn't matter because, like I said before, they could have used like crappy, ugly oak and then veneered like nice oak on the outside. So here it's very important we look at and compare the grain. So we see the grain structure here, and then we're going to swoop around to the other side, and it's the same. It matches up. And also, you want to look at both this part and any insets, because a lot of times this part is solid and this part is veneer, because the strength matters. Here, it doesn't matter. You can have a lesser quality piece of wood, get away with maybe asking a little less of a price on your piece of furniture. So you definitely want to look at both, not just your frame. All right, and there's one more thing to look at real quick, and I'm just going to flip this piece around and show you. All right, piece has been flipped around. We're up to number 3, and what you want to look at is the top edge and the side edge. 99% of the time, even if it's a solid wood piece, your back is going to be a different species of wood. It's the secondary wood. It's what your tracks are made of. It's what your drawer sides are made of. So don't look at this. And just look at, and we're doing the same thing we did on the drawers. We're looking to see if there's a veneer line. This is really oxidized because this is a really old piece. So it's kind of hard to tell. But you can see the grain structure and it matches up. There's no obvious slip. We're looking here. You can see the grain sides and it goes. That's the end grain and stuff. So this piece is in fact a solid wood piece of furniture. And if I were to paint it, I could go crazy with sanding, bleaching, whatever I wanted to do. I wouldn't have to take anything into account because I can just, you know, I'm not gonna go through to anything else. Maybe the one other good indication I would add, so bonus how to tell if your piece is an older solid wood piece is by looking at that back. If it's wood, you might have a solid wood piece. Even if it's different, you might have one. It's old enough, they put wood on the back, they cared, might be solid wood, worth investigating everywhere else. If this is cardboard, it is a newer piece of furniture, and it's highly unlikely that it is solid wood in any way, shape, or form, because it's newer and they just don't make it anymore, which is why we do what we do. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy this little spiel and it helps you in the future determine how anal you need to be in your prep work. So yeah, have fun, enjoy.